So, you're thinking about launching a natural skincare brand. It's a dream for so many, right? But here's the thing. How do you actually stand out when every single bottle on the shelf is screaming clean and natural? Well, today, we're not just talking about products. We're talking about building the one thing that truly matters: trust.
I mean, this is the big hurdle, isn't it? The market is just flooded. It's an ocean of clean beauty promises. And your potential customers, they're definitely interested, but they're also getting super confused and honestly pretty skeptical. So the question remains, how in the world do you break through all that noise?
But here's the secret. That skepticism, that is actually your biggest opportunity. Seriously. The answer isn't just shout louder than everyone else, it's to be clearer, to be more honest. I mean, think about it. You're selling something that people put on their face. Trust isn't just a nice to have, it's everything. So let's break down how to build it step by step. Okay, so here's the plan. First, we'll look at the big opportunity here. Then, we'll get super clear on what your brand promise really is. After that, we're talking products, pricing for profit, building an online shop people actually trust, and finally, how to market your brand in a way that builds that trust instead of, destroying it.
All right, section one, the opportunity. Like I said, the fact that customers are just so over those vague, fuzzy promises, that's a gift. It really is. It means a brand that comes in with real, genuine clarity can cut through the noise and earn attention and loyalty almost immediately.
And that brings us to maybe the most critical step of all. Seriously, before you do anything else, you've got to decide what natural means for your brand. Not for the brand next to you, not for the big guys, for you. You don't have to copy anyone, but you absolutely, 100% have to be consistent. Just look at how specific these promises are. And ingredient first brand, you know exactly what you're getting. A minimalist brand, that immediately speaks to someone with a specific need. See, this isn't just fluffy marketing talk. This is like a compass for your entire business, and it's something customers can get in a split second. And this right here, it just nails the point. Clean, toxin-free. I mean, what does that even mean? It's so vague it can actually make people anxious. But no synthetic fragrance? That's a hard fact. It's a calm, confident statement. And that builds way, way more trust than trying to scare people with buzzwords ever will. Okay, so let's talk about how this clarity translates to your actual products. Because if you try to sell everything to everyone, you're just gonna get lost. Natural skincare is way too broad. The real key here is to pick a lane, Find a space where your products and your promise just feel obvious, essential even. Okay, look at this. This is a perfect one-sentence shop promise. You know exactly who this is for, right? Someone with dry, stressed skin. And what are they gonna get? Comfort. Having that kind of laser focus makes every single other decision, from your marketing to your product R&D, so much easier. And that focus should absolutely carry over to your product line. Listen, you do not need 30 products to launch. In fact, starting with a really tight, curated range of, say, 3 to 7 products, that shows confidence. It guides your customer instead of just overwhelming them with choice. A simple, gentle cleanser, a great moisturizer, a multi-use balm, that's a fantastic core to build everything else around. Okay, moving on. You've got your niche, you've got your products, awesome. Now for the really crucial stuff, the mechanics that turn this passion project into a business that can actually last. And a huge part of that is pricing, because if you underprice, you're just gonna burn out. So let's talk about pricing with that same sense of clarity. And here's the thing that so many people forget. Your price has to cover so much more than just the ingredients in the bottle. You've got to account for the containers, the labels, the shipping boxes, those annoying payment processing fees, safety documents, and yes, your own time. Please don't forget your time. Getting the pricing right from day one is what makes sure this business is actually worth all the effort you're putting in. So your products are ready to go. Now, where do people buy them? In the skincare world, your online shop is so much more than just a place to check out. It is your #1 trust-building tool. It has to look, feel, and be credible from the very first moment someone lands on it. And that credibility, it comes from clarity. Things like a full ingredient list on every product page, that's just non-negotiable. Clear, easy-to-find delivery info, that prevents customer anxiety. And a good About page, that's where you get to tell your story and really explain your brand's promise. It's how you connect on a much deeper level. Now look, if the thought of building all that yourself sounds, well, overwhelming, there are resources out there to help. For example, a service like Make Local for Global basically offers a done-for-you solution. The whole point is that you can focus on making amazing products, not on becoming a part-time web developer, right?
Services like this are often a super simple, really affordable way to get a professional, trustworthy shop online fast. And it just takes all that technical pressure right off your plate.
All right, let's get into our final section, marketing. Let's be honest, natural skincare marketing can get weird and fast. But the good news is you don't need all the hype. You don't need to make wild miracle claims. The most effective approach is actually much simpler. Be calm, be consistent, and be educational. So, what does that actually look like? Well, think about content that genuinely helps your customers. Things like routine guides or simple explainers about your key ingredients. This stuff has a huge impact on sales. And you know why? Because you're not just pushing a product, you're building authority. You're helping them solve a problem and succeed. That's powerful. And see, it all comes back to that core strategy we talked about. This table really sums it up beautifully. Whether you decide to focus on sensitive skin or luxury body care, or maybe you're all about eco-friendly refills, each one of these paths has a crystal clear reason why it works. The key, again, is to just pick one and really commit to it. That's how you build a brand that feels intentional and completely trustworthy. So, there you have it. That's the roadmap. In this super crowded market, the brands that are going to win are not the loudest ones. They're the clearest ones. It really all boils down to this one simple question. Your customers are out there, and they are desperate for clarity. So, will you be the brand they finally trust?